Welcome back. It is week 12 in the NFL. It's Austin, joined by Logan. We each cooked up a parlay for Sunday that you can sweat out all day long. If you remember, we did this exact same video on Thanksgiving, and Logan, congratulations. You delivered the people a winner, rather sweat-free, except for Christian McCaffrey getting 25 receiving yards, but he got it right on the dot. That's what GOATs do. They get the job done, but we got it once again. We got a parlay for you guys to tail on Sunday, and just like how we did on Thanksgiving, if you are on FanDuel, we're going to make your life a little bit easy. If you just go down to the description, you will see two links. One will say Austin's parlay, one will say Logan's parlay. It does have a long link. Don't worry about it. If you click it, it'll automatically take you to a site that will load up all the legs onto FanDuel, save you guys some time. So if you are on FanDuel, you certainly can do it there. We don't have a quick link for other books, but you certainly can check that out. Like I said, we are on FanDuel, but today there is a great offer on BetMGM, which you can do for any other NFL bets you really want to. You could probably tailor entries or parlays there too, but there's a great offer on BetMGM. You get $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win your first wager. Sign up, top link in description. You make a bet, and if it loses, you get it back in bonus bets. Now, we'll have this video is coming live on Saturday, but we'll have some NFL best bets posted on Sunday morning. So definitely check that out if you want to see what we were playing for 1 unit or 1.5 unit, 2 unit. You know the drill. That video will be posted tomorrow, Sunday morning. But Logan, you were the big winner on Thanksgiving. Thank you for delivering the kids some coin. But I need another winner this Sunday, week 12. Lead it off. Who you going with on Sunday?
Yeah, my plus 600-ish parlay did so well on Thanksgiving. So I'm thankful for another one to sweat out this Sunday. And let's go to a first leg. It's going to be a plus 611 odds parlay on FanDuel, as you mentioned. First leg, Travis Etienne of the Jaguars, 50-plus rushing yards. Etienne, crazy hit rate on this, has 50-plus rushing in 8 out of 10 games this year. We know the identity of this Jags team. They want to run the damn ball. And when they want to run the ball, you get to take the ball out of C.J. Stroud's hands. And that's the key to beating the Texans. And Etienne, what I like about him, he's an efficient runner. As I mentioned, I do not like taking guys like Najee Harris that simply or Saquon Barkley that get contacted right at the line of scrimmage. No, I like Etienne that can pick up 5 to 8 yards a carry. Those are the guys we like to trust. Now let's go to the second leg. Chris Olave of the Saints, 50-plus receiving yards. Now, the hit rate on this one isn't as great. Olave has 50-plus in 6 out of 10 games this year, so hitting at a 60% rate. But what I do know is the targets will be there. Since they don't really have any wide receiver depth, Chris Olave, it doesn't matter who's starting at quarterback, he's going to get targets. Olave has 9-plus targets in 4 out of his last 5 games. I don't really care, how it comes, but I know Chris Olave is going to finish this game with 50-plus receiving yards. He's just too good of a receiver. He will get open, and he will get those yards for us. Now let's go to another wide receiver of my Carolina Panthers, Adam Thielen, 5-plus receptions. Now, Adam Thielen, say what you want. I think he's been one of the only bright spots on this Carolina Panthers team. Thielen has 5-plus receptions in 9 out of 10 games this year. He's the only really reliable wide receiver on this Panthers wide receiver core, and he's the go-to guy for Bryce Young. Titans secondary is not good at all, and I think Adam Thielen will finish this game with 5-plus receptions. That's definitely within his capability. Now, let's go to a tight end. This guy burned us so good last week. Travis Kelce of the Chiefs, 60-plus receiving yards. Now, after burning us last week on the ladder challenge, we all know it. We all were in pain. I think Kelce will be a lot better this week because if you look at how the Eagles defended him, they really bracketed him. They said, beat us with Watson, beat us with Valdez-Scantling. Mahomes tried, and it didn't really work out. Now, Kelce's hit this over in 5 out of 9 games. Not a crazy hit rate. He's had some dud weeks in there mixed in. But I don't really see the Raiders being able to have a game plan for him. Travis Kelce's so good at sitting in the zones where the defense isn't. I think Mahomes goes back to his guys, and I think Travis Kelce has a big day. Now, speaking of having a big day after some duds, Stephon Diggs of the Bills, 60-plus receiving yards is the next leg. Diggs has 60-plus in 8 out of 11 games this year, so really good hit rate. But he's had some really bad weeks mixed in there. After 2 bad weeks, this is kind of the theory of he's due. He's just due because of the volume he should be getting. And this Eagles secondary isn't locked down at all. Diggs should have plenty of work. And I expect this game to be sort of high scoring. I mean, if the Bills want to go punch for punch with the Eagles, it's gonna go through Stephon Diggs. He should be in line for a really great day. Now let's go to the last one. A guy that's had a ridiculous season. Keenan Allen of the Chargers. Take us home with 7+ receptions. He's a receptions monster. He's had double-digit receptions in a ton of games this year. He's had 7+ receptions in 5 out of his last 6 games. He's always open. He always finds a way to get in open in those short and intermediate zones. and his chemistry with Herbert is undeniable. I mean, does he get the yards that he's projected this week? I think it's in the 80s or 90s. I don't really know, but what I do know is that he will catch a lot of those short little intermediate passes and definitely rack up the receptions that way. So 7+ definitely doable for it. And I think that closes out this plus 611 odds parlay. Can we hit back-to-back parlays for myself? I think that would be really cool. But I really don't see this one losing. Austin, what do you got for the people this week?
Yeah, Logan, I really love your parlay. There were some guys that I really did consider putting in there, like ETN. He notoriously owns the Texans, and also Stephon Diggs. I almost considered him too. We do have an overlapping leg, which I'll dive into that one. But mine's going to start off at plus 636, right around the same odds as Logan. And I'm going to start with this first guy, a guy that I expect to get the rock a lot on Sunday, Bijan Robinson, 50+ rushing yards. Now, obviously, it's been an up and down season for Bijan and the Falcons, but in their final week before their bye week, which was last week, they gave the rock to him a ton, 22 rushing attempts in that game. I just don't see how you go away from Bijan. He's clearly the better running back in this backfield. It is a tougher matchup against the Saints, but New Orleans just has not been a team that blows out teams, especially not on the road. So Atlanta being at home, they should be able to run the ball not only in the first, the second, and the third, but hopefully in the fourth quarter too. Bijan, just like a guy like Travis Etienne, has a lot of consistency. He can make guys miss. He can get those consistent yards. And all it takes is one. We know how talented Bijan Robinson is. I know the Saints will be loading the box to stop him, but I just think 50+ is going to be pretty easy for him to get to with 15-ish carries is what I'm projecting there too. So Bijan, first one, 50+ rushing yards at home. He'll come through. Now my second one's going to go to Logan's Texans and Jaguars game, and I'm actually on the other side. CJ Stroud, 250+ passing yards. As Logan kind of talked about, the Jags are going to try their best to keep the ball out of CJ Stroud's hands. But at the end of the day, what the Texans can't really do is run the football a ton. They've had a lot of success with Devin Singletary these past few weeks, but those have been good matchups. Now you're getting a tough matchup against the Jags defense that is really limiting rushing yards. And or look, when the running attack is not working for the Texans, they abandon it quick. They're saying, all right, fine, we'll throw it with CJ Stroud, 250+. He's hit that in the first half last week. This is a guy that's been throwing over 300 yards consistently in a big divisional game. This is honestly a must-win game for the Texans. And they're at home. CJ Stroud's talked time and time again about hey, he wants to defend his home and wants a game in Houston to mean a lot for those fans out there. The fans will be out there in full force for this team that really not a lot of people had expectations for this season. Now they do. CJ Stroud, 250+ passing yards. I'll roll with him. Third leg is going to be a guy that hurt me good last week. It is Derrick Henry, 50+ rushing yards. This is one of those, I was a week early because last week, if you remember, I took him for 1.5 units for him to get like his regular over in yards up to 100+ yards, and he stunk up the joint. The Titans got smoked on the road in Jacksonville, and now he's going back at home against Logan's lowly Panthers. And honestly, this just feels like a game where game script will be on our side. The Panthers, they've had a lead all season long. I don't expect them to do that on the road against the Titans defense that will show up. Even though their season's basically over, they will show up, and so will Derrick Henry against a favorable matchup. We should see Derrick Henry see rushing attempts the whole game long, and 50+ against a bad Panthers defense. I will take my chances with King Henry getting this 50+ when he gets like 15 to 20 carries on a Sunday. Now my fourth leg is going to go to the guy that overlaps with Logan plus his teammate. It's Travis Kelce to get 6 or more receptions, and Isaiah Pacheco, 50+ rushing yards. Now, Travis Kelce's Logan kind of touched on. I think he bounces back here, and even though he didn't have a great game, he still had 6 receptions, has 6 receptions in 7 of his last 8. I'm pretty sure Patrick Mahomes and this offense needs to figure out things in the second half. They are, I think, the fewest points per game scored in the second half of any NFL team, which is ridiculous. They need to stop throwing it to other guys, not named Travis Kelce. I think this is a game they just get back on track to say, hey, Travis, force feed him the ball. I don't think the Raiders have a chance of stopping him. So, look, 6 receptions. He probably gets that in the first half. Maybe even gets that on the first drive. I don't really care. He's going to get that done. And then as 10-point favorites, I really like Pacheco, their lead running back, 50+ rushing yards. This is a guy that, look, Pacheco, just like, I mean, if you're going to bet on a guy, you want a guy that runs as hard as Pacheco. And that guy does not care who's in front of him. He's running, and he's running as hard as he can. So I'll take my chances there. We saw last week they give up a good amount of rushing yards to the Dolphins. I just don't trust the Raiders defense a ton on the road. Their number one guy, Pacheco, should be able to get 50+ rushing yards pretty easily here. He'll probably see the rack, 12 to 16 times, maybe even more. I think they lean on him a little bit more in this one. So Pacheco, I really like him. I know their offense hasn't looked great, honestly, the past few weeks, but Pacheco's been that lead guy for him. 50+ rushing yards shouldn't be too difficult. And then the sixth and final leg is a free square. It's Lamar Jackson, 25+ rushing yards. I said that, and it's probably going to be an absolute sweat. But with Mark Andrews now down for I mean, technically he's out for the season. They said he might be able to return late postseason. That doesn't matter to us. I think we're going to see Lamar, especially on the road, Sunday Night Football, run the ball a little bit more. And even if he doesn't, this was still Lamar Jackson, 25 plus rushing yards in 10 of 11 games this season. The Chargers have a decent, pass rush with Khalil Mack. I believe Bosa is injured now, but still, Jackson, he'll be able to run around and do his thing on the road. Sunday Night Football, Mark Andrews is number one guy down. I'll take my chances of Lamar Jackson getting us 25 rushing yards. They've been designing about 5 designed runs for him every single game. Honestly, one designed run against the Chargers might be enough. So that's my full parlay at plus 636. I think Logan and I both cooked up a winner. We have some overlapping legs, but mostly we're in, the same game, maybe on different sides. I really like it. I didn't check what the odds were if you combined all of our legs, but I'm sure that's absolutely smacking. So we're going to absolutely cook one of these up, and hopefully we both can cash it. If we can just cash one, we're still walking away with some money. But Logan, any final thoughts before we sign out of this for week 12?
As you mentioned it, though, I think both of our parlays are really well designed. I think, game scripts should be in our favor for a lot of these guys. And again, the hit rates are there. If you're making a parlay and just, want to throw something sprinkle on it, I want guys that have the hit rates that we picked. And I think we stand a really good chance of cashing this weekend.
Absolutely. Let's try to hit another one. We will see you guys again in some more videos. And of course, if you are new, do us a favor, hit that subscribe reminder, BetMGM, sign up, all details down below. Also, if you want to go check out our NFL Best Bets video, which will be live in the morning, Sunday morning, I'll link it on the screen if you are watching it on Sunday. I don't know, late morning. It might be live by the time you're watching this video. But Austin Logan signing out. Those are parlays for Sunday. Let's cash one, and we'll see you guys next week with some more parlays. We'll see you then. Peace.